Okay guys, welcome to REVIT Architecture. Your major design work will be based around using REVIT Architecture 2014. So I'm just going to give you some tutorials as to getting you started. And like a lot of what we've done in the past, the more you draw, the more you investigate and the better you get. There are a lot of tutorials online. There are lots of tips and tricks that you can pick up online, and I'm sure that you'll pick this up rather quickly. So I'm going to just start off by drawing some basic stuff and getting you guys on the program quickly. As we go along, you'll find that I draw more and more complex parts, and I can modify parts, and I can show you how to do different parts and techniques with different structures, but it's an ongoing process of learning. So first of all, we're just going to go to our project page and we're going to create a new project. Now the one that I've been using, guys, is the architectural template, and I'm going to go OK. And what that's do, it's going to take me to this page, our setup page. Now we have here our tool palette, our properties palette, and also our project browser. So you'll hear me refer to our tool palette, our properties palette, and our project browser as we go along. If we come down in our project browser, we can see that there's a number of different groups of things that we can see here. First of all, we've got our floor plans, our ceiling plans, and our elevations. We've also got sections and a whole group of other things. So first of all, guys, we're just going to concentrate on our elevations and also our floor plans. So if we come to our elevation, I'm just going to go to our south elevation here, and our template gives us two levels. So this is looking at our drawing from the south. That's one of the things with REVIT. You draw in a 2D sense, but you're actually drawing in a 3D sense, and you'll get a better understanding of that as we go along. So right here I've got our ground floor and I've got level 1. So if I wanted to put another level in here, say I wanted to put a 2-story, make a 2-story house, because right now I've got our ground floor and this is the floor or the level of our first floor, and I'm going to put another floor in here. So I just go up here, select level, and I'm just going to put in, say, 3 meters, and from that point I can bring my level right across. So that gives me 3 levels now: ground floor, a level 1, and a level 2. Now I'm going to go ahead and change some of the sizes on this. So first of all, I'm going to come to the ground floor, 0. Now, as I said, guys, I'm just starting off quite simply here. If we wanted to draw our house on piers or foundations, we can put another level along here at a negative value. So I could come along here and then stick another level down in this direction if I wanted to, or move one of these levels down. So we've got a negative level. Okay, and I can do that by changing the distances. So if I wanted this one to be 3,000, it moves to 3,000. If I wanted it to be negative 1,000, it would move back down to negative 1,000. Of course, up here with all of our programs, we've got our back bar and our forward bar, so we can change that back if we want to. So right now I've got a ground floor on 0. I've got level 1 at 3 meters and level 2 at 7 meters. Now I might just change level 2 to 6. 6,000. So I've got a 3 meter gap and a 3 meter gap. That's fairly high, I guess. Ideally 9-foot ceiling, so we do 27 and 54, but just for this particular exercise, we'll take it as what we've got there. So if we come over to our floor plans, now we've got ground floor, level 1 and level 2. Okay, don't worry about the other ones just yet. So we have 0, 3 meters, 6 meters. Okay, so for our ground floor, when we come over to our ground floor, this is basically our drawing parameter in here, our drawing area in between our markers. So this is like our big block of land. Now, of course, with all of these things, we can move them around quite easily. So from here, I'm just going to pick our ground floor. And first of all, using our tool palette, we have a series of tools here. We have walls, doors, windows, components, columns, roofs, ceiling, floors, curtain systems. And we have things like railings, ramps and stairs. Of course, our models, text, etc. So we'll be using this one quite a bit. And this one here, which comes up automatically when we draw in quite a lot of these. You can see that there are lots and lots of different tabs, and as with Inventor and AutoCAD, we only use a very, very small part of these programs because this is a professional program. It's one that's used by architectural firms. So if we were designing a building such as one of the new ones at school, we'd have to be putting in all our electrical, all of our plumbing, all of our fittings. So we're basically just designing simple houses, and then the further you go, the more complex you can make them. So right now, guys, just to get us started, I'm just going to go for a structural wall. Now, when you see our structural wall, you can see that there's a choice. We've got stud timber, okay, generic walls, double brick walls, brick veneer, brick on the outside, and plaster finish or a timber frame and plaster finish on the inside, brick, block, etc. Even got toilet partitions there. So here's my double brick wall. And I'm going to come down to our drawing here. Now, a few things. We've got this other line that comes up here with some more settings. First of all, our location of the line. We can draw from the wall center line, or things like the face finish interior or the finish face exterior. So it gives us a number of options there. We can also go depth or height. So for this one, we're going to go height. Height, we're going to go to the and see how we go drawing our wall. Alright, so I'm just going to draw a very basic, I guess, structure. So I'm going to go 12 meters. I'm going to come out the back here 17 meters. Now again, the size of your house needs to come from your research. There are many websites that you can go to search for houses, and I'll be talking about that a lot more in class, guys. Okay, so now I've drawn that basically in a 2D format. I've got my little house button up here. Now my little house button is very important because that is going to show me my drawing in 3D so far. And there it is. So I've basically drawn 4 double brick walls, and you can see that by going and using my cursor I can highlight certain parts. I can also move that around, pretty similar to Inventor to have a look at it. Also, guys, the same rules apply with your mouse in terms of scrolling in and out using the center and highlighting as we've already demonstrated. So next thing I'm going to do in my absolute basic of basic houses is I'm going to come back into my architecture and I might put in a floor. Now to do that, I'm going to go to ground floor, select my floor, okay, and this has brought me into this mode, this modify mode. So I've got a number of options here. I can pick a line, rectangle, a lot of those old sort of AutoCAD things. This one up here, trim, extend, we'll also use quite a little bit. We've got our split element, which is another thing that you can use, especially to modify. So for this one, we're just going to go pick walls. I'm just going to zoom in here. And basically what I'm doing here is picking where my floor will go. And I'm on the ground level. And then I'm going to go take that. And then if I come back to my 3D view, I've got a floor in here. Okay. So the next thing I might want to do is I might want to come, say, to level 1. And I might want to stick another floor in at level 1. Now guys, when you have floors and ceilings, a lot of times you need space between your floor and ceiling if you're leaving a void in there to run all your power cables and the like. As I've said, architecture is a huge field, so we're just going to look at the basics here just to get us started. So I might put in a floor on level 1 and I'll do the same thing. Pick the points. Okay, I'm just selecting my walls, and that's going to give me a closed loop sketch. Okay, highlight walls, do you want to join them in? Yes, I do. Okay, now if we go to our 3D viewer, we'll find that we have a floor, or in other words, we have our floor, we have our walls, and we have our first floor that runs all the way around here. So next in our very basic sort of look at doing structures, there are a couple of different ways that you can do your roof. Now I'm going to go up to the level 2 and I'm going to put a roof on. Roof by footprint. Now the first way that we can do it is again picking our walls. Now when I pick my wall, you can see here that I have this 30-degree symbol. That means that the wall will lean from there to the center at 30 degrees. So I'm just going to draw in quickly a roof, okay, that would all lean in at 30 degrees, and we can just have a quick look at that. Slope, edit, and there it is. So there's our roof that we've drawn in at 30 degrees. So we're going to end our first little tutorial right there, looking at the very basic systems, and I'll see you in number 2.